Hello YouTube, guys, welcome to another video. I just got back from Gamescom and I'm super excited to talk to you about player housing because I think it's going to be an insanely strong feature. I think it could be game changing for World of Warcraft and it's going to be fantastic. I want to talk to you about it. I'm going to talk to you about why I think you should care for anyone who's on the fence of like, is this even a big deal? And then some of the things I tested, like some of the things I found, my experience with actually testing player housing. And then I also want to chat to you about some things that I would like to either see or get some more clarity on whether or not these things are going to exist in player housing. So that's my plan. As I say, I just got back from Gamescom, so big shout out to Blizzard and the Warcraft team for inviting me out and letting me actually test this, as well as conduct a dev interview with Ian Hazakostas and Maria Hamilton, and then also compete in the Mythic Plus tournament. And shout out to my team for their performance. We almost won the whole thing, kind of. So yeah, it was really a blast doing player housing and checking out Gamescom stuff. So, right, why should you care about player housing? For me, I never was super into this stuff. Like, I am not sort of the target audience of this feature, but I'm super happy that it's going to exist for the people that it's going to target. And I think Blizzard is doing a really good job in the implementation of it, the scope of it right now, and then also the plans that they have, this sort of innovative, like, things they're adding to player housing, I would say. So, I'm really quite excited about it. I started playing FF14 a few years ago, and in that, FF14 has housing, player housing, and it's a massive part of the community. There's tons of events that get hosted, a bunch of RP stuff that occurs, and when I first started playing that game, I was like, I don't think I really care too much about the housing. It's kind of like a bit weird, isn't it? And then I went to my first preach party, and I was like, oh, it's definitely weird. No, I went to my first preach party, because he plays FF as well, and it was so cool. Now, admittedly, I had a couple beers, right? I was drinking during the event, so take it with a pinch of salt. But, no, it was really good fun because everyone gets so into it, and it's so goofy fun, you know? So you show up to this house party, there's hundreds of people there, there's no phasing, no sharding or anything, you can just see everybody in it. There's like a live DJ on Twitch where they're playing music and everybody's tuned into them, and then you have staff members, you have dancers that dance in a synchronized like dance, you have bartenders, you have staff members going around the venue and everything. People can set up their houses for a dance floor and all that kind of stuff. It's just really cool. It's really cute. People showing off their mounts and their different glams. You can have themed parties, so everybody that goes will be in a certain theme. That's something we could do in WoW as well, which is really cool. I will say that the thing is, FF does have like way better casual wear, so you can wear like jeans and a shirt or a jacket or something. We don't really have much of that in WoW as much, so you know, it is what it is. And also, FF has way better emote game. There's just so many more emotes in FF that just fit these kinds of RP things. WoW needs more of that, but hopefully maybe that's the next step, is to get a lot more emotes and stuff. So that's just a little bit of feedback there, Blizz, I guess. But yeah, then that really made me go, you know what? I've been wrong about this player housing thing. This is actually potentially really awesome, and could not only that, but I think it can also get people back in the game, going out and exploring where they can get these player housing items, the different room layouts, the different houses themselves, different decor, all that kind of stuff is just going to give people something to log in and do. And I think that's something that WoW is not. I mean, we have it in some areas, but I think this is just going to be such incredible scope to get all of these things. So, really exciting. Player housing, by the way, releases in the pre-patch, and you're going to need to own Midnight in order to get access to player housing. Now, Ian said you can start collecting the items for your house even before you have Midnight, but you're not going to physically be able to have a house until you own Midnight, which I don't think is the end of the world, because who in their right mind doesn't buy the new expansion in WoW? Who's like, nah, dude, I'm still in Legion, man. Yeah, no, I haven't upgraded since then. I'm still in Legion. You're like, okay, what? So, you know, it is what it is, but just so you guys know, that's going to be the plan there. So it's going to be coming in pre-patch, so that's cool. So you can see here, I'm messing around. So let's talk about some of the features then. So I didn't really try and create like my dream house or anything here. I wanted to just check things out, break things, see the limit of things, like what works, what doesn't, and stuff. How do all the tools work? You can see here I'm like deleting a bunch of things, but I just added in like 6 large rooms in a row, and it was just, I could do it. There was no restriction, and I'm very curious on the plan for that. Like, are we going to be able to have these TARDIS homes that are just endless? That seems a bit too much. I actually don't think that should be a thing. There should probably be some kind of limit of how big your house can be or how many rooms you're allowed to have or something, because it's just insane. I mean, I could keep going and keep going and keep going. Something that it could actually be really cool, though, is making mazes. You could have a house where you have a maze and people can come in and see if they can solve the maze and stuff and how quickly and whatever. And then you could have like a guest book where people can fill in their times and whatnot. Could be pretty cool. You can also do a bunch of jump puzzle stuff. I think jump puzzles would be really, really sick. So you can see here I'm messing around with the clipping feature. You have the option to turn like the grid on and off, clipping on and off, so it won't let you place an item if it's going to clip, but you can turn that off so you're allowed to clip things. And then that opens up scope to have these very creative ways of utilizing items in a unique way. As we saw Peekaboo do, where he recreated a WoW arena by manipulating some of the items in the game, changing their scale, clipping them through the ground, stuff like that, to then create this illusion of a different type of item. So there's some like scope for that kind of thing. You can see every single item in this panel that I've got here. Every single item is like got a number out of 60. That's how many you have. Now, I don't know how exactly this is going to work in terms of when you unlock an item, you have a maximum of 60 permanently, or if this is something that you need to go and refresh in some manner. I don't know. That needs some clarity. Curious on what it's going to be. I think you can also see at the top right here, 418 out of 2,500. This is the amount of total things you can place, I believe. Now, I don't know if an individual item will just be a 1, or if larger items are going to cost more or whatnot. I don't know. We'll see when I place this. 418. Let's see. I'm going to place it any second. There it is. 423. Okay, so some larger items are going to cost more real estate, like space real estate. So that's interesting. So I was messing around with this. The tools are super intuitive, really nice in terms of like the orientation of things and also the plane that they're on. Like you can just move things up, like up and down, left, right, whatever. You can orient things, spin them around, and it tells you the degree of the orientation and stuff. So like that's really helpful. So super easy. Like within minutes, I just had all the tools figured out. And there's not tons, but like everything was just super intuitive. I like had it memorized very quickly. It was just all very natural, and it just felt really good. Going through the different menu systems and everything, you can actually search for things. So you can search for things based on theme. I think further in the VOD, I actually start doing some of that. Yes, here we go. Perfect, I found it. So you can see on the filter, you can search for keywords. So you can search for like Horde, Alliance, Silvermoon. You can search for these various things. But then on top of that, you have sort of like the filter, which then you can do these various things. Size, culture, expansion that they're in, style, theme, holiday, indoor, outdoor, that kind of thing. So really, really cool. Something that this is missing though is the ability to see what you don't own and then find out where to get it from. That would be really, really, really handy. I would love to see that implemented. I would be very shocked if we don't have that, because we have it on all the other like mounts and pet systems and all that kind of stuff, and T-Mog systems. So hopefully we get that. So all very intuitive, very happy with the controls and all that kind of stuff. You can see here I'm like trying to manipulate this thing to see if I can create different sort of planes and stuff. But yeah, some really cool potential. I think we could see some cool jump puzzle stuff, some cool mazes and things. We can see some really excellent houses. Marcellian Online, those guys like Flame and Marcellian, they made this house where they created a few windows, and then in the windows they put some shrubbery and like foliage and stuff, and made it actually appear like their window looked to the outside, and it was really cool actually. So that was nice. I'd like to see more of that kind of stuff. I'd like to even see maybe just in your first few rooms of your house, if you could have windows that then showed the outside. That would be nice, but probably not going to get that because it messes with all the tech and everything like that. So it is what it is. Now, what I then want to talk about is some things that I want to see. Oh, I probably shouldn't show this. Some things that I want to see implemented into this housing system, or some more clarity on some of this stuff. So, in terms of using the actual tools, I want to see an undo button. So when I place something, if I orient it wrong and whatever, and it's a bit finicky to get it back to its original position and whatnot, I would like an undo button. So I can just very quickly, like, undo a bunch of stuff. I mean, you guys can understand the concept of why you would want an undo button. I'd also like a copy-paste. So once I've got an item, I'd like to copy it, exact size, scale, orientation, everything, copy, paste, boom, cool. So that's more of the technical side of things. Oh, I guess a secret room tech. So clickable mechanical contraptions, like being able to have a bookcase that you then click and it moves and then it goes down to another room or something. That would be really cool, and could open up some cool like game stuff there. So a really big one, which I think could be really awesome, is the ability to duel or PvP inside your own house. So any kind of like dueling system or something active in your home would be really sick. There's some really cool potential there where you could design some cool arena stuff and then do some duels in your own house. That would be really awesome. In that same vein, target dummies. Could we get target dummies where you could place even just a handful in your house and then you could just go through some rotational stuff? That would be really neat. And there'd be a lot of purpose for that, to be honest. Jukebox. Having a jukebox in your house where you could collect music from the wider game, kind of like we had in the Garrison, but also something that happens in FF14 where you go kill bosses in raid, in dungeons, in questing and stuff like that, and you get these orchestrion notes, these music notes that you can then use and then go to your home, and you can make even a playlist as well, which is pretty sick. Having the ability to do that would be amazing. You could have themes for your house if you want to make like this really cool Silvermoon house theme, and then you could have music from Silvermoon and the Blood Elves. Could be really awesome. It just goes with all of the RP features, you know. A guest book. Another thing from FF14 that I'm stealing here is a guest book. When somebody comes and visits your house, it would be really cool if you could sign it. Sign a little guest book and say, this was a lovely house. I really like blah, blah, blah. Or this house sucks. Or anything. Just sign that you were there. Show some appreciation. It's really cute. It's really social. And it makes it feel like an ecosystem. Like people are actually there in the game with you. So that could be really nice. Pets. Sorry, I got the Gamescom flu. Dillo. Pets and mounts walking around could be sick. If you could have a stable outside and you could feature specifically your favorite mounts and it like cycles between them or shows all of them at once kind of thing. I was saying on stream it's kind of like the Pokemon movie. You know, in the original Pokemon movie where they're all chilling waiting to go to like the Mewtwo Island or whatever, and like everyone's got all their Pokemon summoned, and you're like, yo, that's that guy, he's got all those Pokemon. You can do that with mounts. Like you have some really sick mounts that you can display in your stable. Pets walking around and stuff could be really cute. What else? I think that's everything. That's everything I'm curious about, everything I want to know more about. But let me know in the comments what you guys want to see and hear and smell and all that kind of stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this is at least giving you some insights into the player housing in depth and some of the things that we can expect going forward. Obviously, I haven't even mentioned the neighborhood stuff. We're going to have the neighborhood feature, which is going to allow you and your neighborhood to like vote on activities that you're going to tackle that week or that month and whatnot, and unlock additional decor that is themed around like a theme of your choice, right? It might be like a Murloc encounter and then you get Murloc stuff or whatever. So really awesome. Again, this feature is releasing in the pre-patch for Midnight, so probably within the next like 4 months or so, and you're going to need to own Midnight to get a house. But even if you don't own Midnight, you'll be able to start collecting decor for when you eventually get Midnight. So that's something to check out. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about player housing and everything. Thanks for watching. Take care.